Hi guys. Today I thought we'd do a little bit of testing on an alternator to see on the vehicle how we can go about seeing if the thing is working or not. Okay, so we're gonna look at several things. I'll probably be jumping back and forth from this camera to my handheld camera and back and forth. I'll stitch them all together later. So yeah, let's have some fun. So I'm gonna use the Bronco because well it's convenient. There's nothing wrong with it, so whatever we test is obviously going to test good. So, big surprise. But, just be careful that along the way, frequently someone comes in, what's wrong with your car? What's wrong with the thing? Well, battery's not keeping charged up, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's the idea. This is the new look of it. You'll see this next year. So, we get a 90... Ford, not a Ford, you dummy, a Ford truck. Old Daddy breaks them out separately. Full size, 5 liter, not that that matters for what we're doing. And then we're going to type in, we're going to go to electrical. And that is the charging and starting system right there. And the charging system and the alternator. And then over here, electrical specs. So on here, it should tell us that the rated output is, depending on which one you had, it's either 70 or 75 amps, okay? So, and then there's a stamp color that'll tell you which one's which on some other things. But that's not the biggest deal. Normally, if you're in the 70, 75 amp routine, cool. If we test this in a minute, it comes back at 20 amps or 0 amps, then obviously pitch the thing, okay? If it comes back at 80 amps or 75 amps, or oh my gosh, it's only 73 amps, it's fine, okay? Okay, we're back at the Bronco. Back here you'll see that there's two big wires that come off the Bronco's alternator. These two big ones right here, those are the two that come off that are the main feed wires. Oh, that's cute. I don't like that at all. I'll have to wrap some more wire around that, tape around that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put our amp clamp around those two wires. Okay, if you only caught one of them, you'd have an issue. The amp clamp is here. Okay. Always make sure when you use this, you turn the switch to the off position. Okay, 200 amps is plenty for what we're doing. So go ahead and run that over here and make sure that it clamps around those two. Now, in theory, it matters which direction the clamp is facing, in theory. In practicality, it doesn't matter. Now, I would personally probably stick it this way so that I can touch the auto zero button in a few minutes when I get ready to run this test. So, interesting. We'll be doing that momentarily. But it does matter which direction things run. But all it really does over here is when we run this test, what it's really going to do is the amps will be negative versus the amps will be positive if we hooked it up backwards. Okay, so I went ahead and hooked the battery cables up to this. As you see, it powers up over here. Alright, now it says negative 110. That's goofy. So I push the 0 button over here on this deal, and it zeroes it out. Okay, so now it's ready to test. What this machine is, it's called a carbon pile machine. Basically, inside of it has a weigh. And you can see them right there, those stacks of carbon right there. It's a variable resistor. So the idea is right now there's a ton of resistance inside this machine. So as a result, hardly any power is going to go through this machine, just enough to run this digital dial here. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn this knob like so when the engine's running and we've got it revved up. And I'll have to zoom in on it for you. And the idea is when the engine revved up, obviously, it'd be like you trying to go up a hill. When you're barely pedaling, you need to actually really step on it. Or like you're going up a hill in your car and you've got a load on the vehicle, but you're not stepping on the gas at all. It's not very conducive to helping. The same thing is true here. Remember, an electrical load is very similar to a mechanical load. That is, you have to work harder. To do that, the engine's going to have to rev up. Okay? So we're going to rev the engine up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this on like this. What that's going to do is drop the resistance in here. So as you know, just like any high school kid who's lazy as heck, they're going to go the easiest route. So they're going to come through these cords, through that resistor, okay? That resistor is going to then it's going to, in essence, be creating a giant load, okay? As a result, then, the alternator is going to say, oh, wait, hold up now. we need to start putting out more. And so as a result, it's going to increase the field. It's going to go full field, we call it. It's going to create the strongest magnetic field that it possibly can. And as a result, it's going to kick out as much amperage as it possibly can, which should be in the neighborhood of 75 amps. Okay? That's what we're going to do. I will have the other camera set up. Alright, so as promised, we're going to sit here and watch the gauge here while I fire up the engine. Okay? So as you can see, it's putting out about 26, 25, whatever amps right now. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and rev it up, and then I'm going to apply a load. So as you can see, we're putting out in the neighborhood of 83, 84 amps. Clearly that's more than its rated output. Don't take it back to the store and complain about that. You'll look like an idiot. All right. Just be aware of that. Again, we expected that to happen on this thing. We know it works fine. But if for some reason someone comes in, they complain their battery's going dead, this and that, alternator lights on, can you check it? Don't be shocked if it puts out 0. Don't be shocked if it puts out some very small amount way below what it's rated at. Okay? And then again, we put that nice heavy load on there. We see what happens with it. Okay? We'll also look at this test. We'll also look at testing this for, you can do some other different tests with this. I'll show those in a different video. This is just a standard alternator output test. Okay? So, enough. Now, putting this thing away. I get really peeved with people who cannot put anything away properly. It drives me bananas. Wrap the cords properly, friends. Wrap them nicely. Okay? Now, I am okay either A, hooking them like this if it'll stay there. Sometimes when the cords are too long, too short, there's not a good place for them to stick. I don't care if they hang down. If they hang down like so, I'm fine with that. If they're dragging on the ground, I'm not okay with that. I prefer that they sit somewhat like this. Then take off your amp clamp. I really hate buying batteries. It annoys the bejesus out of me. So make sure you shut that sucker off. Then go ahead and just clamp her on to the handle like so. Okay? I don't care where you clamp it, here, there, whatever. But just clamp it on there and make it look nice and presentable.
That's all, folks.